Okay, good morning. Well, it's a morning. Maybe not the best mornings. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about what you can do to prepare for nuclear disaster or nuclear war. Now, I'm fully aware that you will have people filling up the chat here very soon now, and they will say things like, "There is nothing you can do," or if we're talking about suiting up or using a gas mask, no, that's only for the military, for people who have had the proper training. So if you're one of those guys who want to say that, who want to write that, please, this is not for you. You're a waste of space. We don't have time for that now. Now, a little bit about my background. I was put in the reserve, the military reserve back when I was 19, in actually the nuclear and chemical disaster force in Norway. I am in no way an expert on this, so my first advice is going to be very simple. Educate yourself now on what to do. Go to mainstream, yes, I said that, mainstream standard official websites and read about what you can do to prepare. And I'm saying that like that because there are so many people out there who believe in crazy stuff, and we don't have time for that now. This is real. This is happening. There is a chance that either by accident or by wickedness, one of the several nuclear reactors in the Ukraine might get hit or blown up, or actually that our little friend Putin might actually deploy nuclear weapons. If I had to bet good money on this, will any of this happen? I would say no, I won't bet on that happening. But the threat is still substantial, and that's why I'm doing this live stream now. So first of all, educate yourself, because I'm going to, just say a few very simple things that, suggest a few simple things that you can do. It will depend on which country are you in. Do you have a shelter now, bomb shelter nearby? Do you know if it's suitable for a nuclear disaster or not? You'll have to take all this into account and adjust what I'm saying. But first and foremost, what you are going to read on several websites, hopefully, you'll have to adjust it to your situation and your country and your family. And yeah, okay. So there will be people with advice in the chat here as well. So please join the chat if you have any good, down to earth, sensible advice. We do not have time for any conspiracy theories. We do not have time for people with a nihilistic attitude towards life or the world. So if you're one of those, go somewhere else. Fill up some tanks with water, or have some water tanks in your house. Please do that. And you will need a lot more water than you think. And it's always like that. It's people, they underestimate how much water they will drink. And by the way, that water will be for drinking, not for hygiene, unless you really have to, clean a wound or something like that. I remember sitting with my parents in the living room, watching TV and following the toxic cloud on the news when Chernobyl happened. And as far as I remember, we did nothing. We were just hoping for the best. But it was scary because it was, a real threat. And after that, well, actually, uh, if you measure the radiation in reindeer meat in Norway, it's still radioactive. Many people don't know that. Now, I think it's not dangerous to eat it anymore, but you know, I've been through that, and still, I was far away from where it happened up here in Norway, but it happened so quickly. So please fill up those tanks with water. And also, well, you don't have to do it now, but be ready to do it, because when the water has become contaminated, then it's too late, obviously. Also, if we get a nuclear disaster, fill up your bathtub if you have a bathtub. You will need a lot of water. I've said many times before, stock up on food. Um, it's all the preppers say stock up on food. Many people, most preppers, they underestimate situations like this, and they underestimate their need for water. By the way, if you really want me to see your comment in the chat, you can give me a super chat. That's how it works. That's how YouTube will make it pop up so that I see it. And yeah, and please be very, very certain before you share any facts in the chat. I know I will be speaking to deaf ears to some people, but please, this is not a joke. This is real. We all need to behave like adults now. Okay. So if you can, please also refer to your sources if you have some information there. I know it's a lot to ask, but people will need to check new information. Yeah, stock up on food. You should have done that already. And here I have to say this: many people, they make fun of preppers, and it's how you're all paranoid and so on. Well, are they making fun of preppers now? I have linked to a video where on my main channel, not this channel, on my main channel. It's in the video description. I made a video about some protective gear, like a gas mask and a hazmat suit and stuff like that. And I got so much hate. I don't care. Doesn't matter. At least now it doesn't matter. But I do have a video like that on my main channel. It's linked in the video description. You could go and check that out. It should be your starting point, or it could be a starting point. As I said, I'm not an expert on this. By now, it might be too late to get protective gear like that, but at least, yeah, I need to say that because I got so many people, making fun of me for making a video like that. So I guess they're not laughing now, are they? Well, this is the internet, so some people will laugh until the bomb hits them straight in the head. So, yeah. So, water, food. No, first of all, number one and the most important, don't take anything I say here for, don't trust anything I say. Okay. Educate yourself. Educate yourself, you know, and you can do that now. We still have the internet, so we can use that to educate ourselves on this. You need tanks, containers, large containers for water. Be ready to fill those up with water. Um, you can still stock up on food. Doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be the greatest or most healthy food, but stock up on food. Also, and this is the new bullet point here, chances are that you might have to just stay where you are. Um, I don't know, depends on where you are, but in case you'll have to stay put where you are, take a good look around your house or your apartment. Um, take notes, at least mental notes, of where you will have to seal up the gaps, vents, and stuff like that. And I honestly don't know how to do that in detail. I know how to do it in my house. I know how to make this house relatively safe in a situation like that. But in most cases, I think you can use like proper tape to seal up gaps. You'll just have to use your own judgment and your own imagination on this one. Um, there should be a shelter nearby. Try to figure out how to get there, if it's suitable, if it's open, if it will be open or not. I saw at the news yesterday here in Norway that in downtown Oslo, the capital of Norway, they were sort of bragging a little bit because they had a big shelter there, and they said that we can house, I can't remember if it was hundreds or um, or thousands in there, but it would take them only 72 hours to get all the bicycles out of that place because they had filled it up with bicycles for rent or something like that. Yeah, so 72 hours is stretching it, to say the least. John, thanks for the donation there. Um, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So let's see here. I want to mention one area in your house, which for me, and other people who live in a rural area as well, we tend to forget the fireplace. The chimney goes up from the fireplace, right? So the fireplace is a big, huge vent. So, and it's a big area to close up, right? But you can do it with tape and use your imagination there. But that will have to be sealed up as well. Berserker Gang 2019, good morning to you. Let's see here. Let me scroll down. Yeah, another thing concerning going to a shelter. They might, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. You will have to make that decision for yourself, of course, but they might, you might have to go back because it's full with people already. Another thing is that you will be at the mercy of the local governments if you go there, which is something you might say that that's not so important in a situation like that, but I don't know. I'm just mentioning it as well. In Dalamar, thanks a lot for the donation. You're asking, do you really think it will come to this point? Actually, no. I said if I had to bet money on this, I would bet on this not happening. Don't they use their brains? Well, that's a good question. Best regards from Germany, and may Odin bless you. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. We could go into a discussion about the foolishness of Western leaders, the insanity that seems to have gripped Putin. And we could discuss this back and forth, the disaster that is Biden as a president. It's the perfect storm, and some people warned about this. Some people tried to say something about this. Now it's happening. So, let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, well, good point here. Will I'll just say it. Will unvaccinated be allowed into the shelters, bomb shelters? I don't know. Depends on which country you're in. I guess that if you're in somewhere like a more dictator kind of like Canada. If you're in Canada, they might say that we don't want you here. In Norway, I don't think it will. Because I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I have my own key. But anyway, yeah. Miss Astor Dancer says, "I cannot believe we are having this conversation." Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, that's one of the dogs. It's a mailman or a woman down the road here, actually. So we should again we should keep our feet on the ground. We should be very nine. Hold on, just nine. That's the mailman, actually. But okay, I'm actually going to end this live stream right now, not because of the mailman, but because essentially go and educate yourself. I will do that as well, and stay safe out there.